Hey, how's it going? Today, as you can see, we'll be discussing star stations, and it appears that what you're looking at could either be upcoming DLC, or perhaps something the developers used to create star stations. Personally, I honestly believe it's downloadable content. Now, there will be proof of that later on, but for now, let's discuss how you can do this. Then we'll get more in depth on the customizations and much more. The option to personalize your own star station is only possible through a mod. Now, I understand that you might have some initial thoughts after that, but please hold off on making any assumptions. It turns out that there are certain files located in the core directory of Starfield, and a modder over at Nexus Mods had a closer look at these files and discovered that the developers had indeed designed a star station launchpad with a terminal that actually works, by the way, which enables you to craft and customize your very own star station. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the only way to achieve this is through a mod. I'll walk you through the installation process later on in the video, but for now let's explore the customization options available because there's actually quite a lot. Now let's say that you're on land. All you need to do is open up your outpost, place that sucker down, and then from there go towards the miscellaneous tab, which can be found at the very far end. You're going to locate this option right here, which is the Star Station Orbital Control. There will be an antenna and a terminal on one of the corners here, as you can see on the top left there. I'm just going to place this sucker down and I'm going to head straight towards that terminal. The interesting thing about this is that when you do head towards the terminal and you try to hold down E, this is not going to bring up the build menu. Instead, you need to tap it once, just tap E, then from there just tap it again, and what should happen is the menu should pop up. For example, right here, I try to hold it down and this is not what you want to do. So head straight towards the terminal, click on it once, then click on it twice. I like to give it at least 1 to 2 seconds before clicking it again, just to make sure that everything is working right. There is going to be a pop-up that says this right here, quote, "Read this, do not set the star station as your home ship. The station will appear as the newest ship in your list. If you cannot dock, just add more basic dockers." End quote. And you have two options here, modify star station and teleport to star station. We're going to modify star station. Now, as you can see at the top, it says outpost star station, which is why I believe this is definitely something that they meant to add to the game, but possibly they did not have enough time. This, of course, is my speculation. Maybe it's something that will be added later on at a different date, but who knows at this point. Moving forward, let's take a look at some of the parts that you can add to your star station. If you take a look here, we have fuel tanks for the first example, which is going to be an HE3 tank. Towards structural, we have horizon weapon mount, pothole, and another pothole. For weapons, we have the mauler, there's different ones there. Then for the station docker, we have a docker half cap, docker cap right, left and right, pretty much there is a full. Then for the station hab, there's different ones such as hab A, hab B, and we got some windows, a full cap, and what those are is something that you can place at the end if you do not wish to connect anything to that piece, at least from what I'm understanding. And if you go down some more, you can see that we have a top portion there that we can place on top of the star station. Continuing towards station pipes, this is where we get a little bit Mario-ish, I guess, if that's the word to use. There's a lot of pipes here, and there's actually a lot of other things that you can connect to this, which is pretty cool. We have the sign cap blank with both the top and bottom as well. The next tab is going to be station structures, I believe, because it's kind of cut off. This is where you're able to place down some cargo, cranes, large tanks. There's a bunch of other tanks there as well, silos, antennas, a bunch of things really that you can just apply to this to make it really cool. The next tab is going to be station truss. Essentially, this is where you're able to connect your bridges or your habs together. This is what I've done later on in the video to show you what the habs look like from the inside and as well as what it looks like from the outside. There's also these towers that you can place down on the station as well. Moving on towards station wall, this is exactly what you would think it would be. And last but not least, we have the support stationing, and this is just going to contain some communication towers, defense bay, and a bunch of other things. I'm sure there's some more things that are supposed to be here, but really, again, this is probably just an unfinished project. project that Bethesda had started and probably did not have enough time to introduce it to us, or possibly they're saving it for DLC. And then there's obviously the last one, which this is just nonsense. It's just something that they made for themselves so that they could create star stations. But again, that does not seem right, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this. Do you believe this is part of the DLC later on in the future, or do you believe this is just something that the developers had used? Let me know down below, because I'm honestly interested, because I think personally this will be DLC. Once you're done with your star station, all you need to do is exit out like you typically would if you were to make some changes to your ship. It's the same exact way. This is going to check if there's any errors, and if there are, you need to correct them. As you can tell in the bottom right, it says 1 error, so I had to delete a few things to find out what exactly was the issue, but who knows, it's probably just due to some bugs. And once you're done, you can exit out. It's going to freeze exactly like this, but do not worry, just give it some time, and eventually it will come to, and then you can just go to your star station. How do you do this? Well, if you remember from earlier, you just go straight towards the terminal, and you just go towards the bottom option, and this will teleport you straight towards that star station. You cannot open up your map and travel there yourself, at least to my knowledge, but you can do this from the terminal. What's intriguing is that when you take a look inside here, it's completely blank. I'm assuming there's going to be another terminal there that you can then place down objects inside, probably some couches, or even more stuff that we're just not aware of yet. Hopefully we can see some things from UC, or even some of the things from some of the other ships. As you can tell right here, I'm using TCL so that I can then enter NoClip. What I'll be showing you here is my star station, and you can tell that on the left and right side I do have these habs. But if you do not connect the bridge from one hab to the other, you're not going to be able to access it. So that's something that does happen. So something to take note of if you are trying to mess with this mod. Also, it's extremely buggy right now, so it's definitely not recommended to mess with this on your main save. I am just messing with an alternative save that I really do not care what happens to. If you wish, you can create a backup save if that's something that you feel that you need. But honestly, if you're just messing with something like a random save that you do not care about, then you should be good to go. This right here would be amazing to see in Starfield, but to be honest, if I can be quite frank with you guys, I think this is just cut content. The only reason why I say this is because Bethesda had the idea of including vehicles into Starfield, but then a few developers said no, we do not want that, so they did not include it. Maybe towards the end they saw where things were going, and maybe it was just too much for Starfield to have at that moment. Maybe this is something we will see, who knows, but to be honest, it might just be cut content in the end, and that's why I'm interested in what you guys think, so let me know down below what you think. Let's continue on and talk about how you can install this mod right here. It's quite easy. We need to pop up 2 folders. The left folder is going to be the main directory to Starfield, and then the right side is just going to be the files that I have downloaded. Eventually, we will need to open up the app data folder so that we can then transfer over the plugin mod so we can actually run the whole entire mod itself, because if you do not have that installed, you're not going to be able to run this at all. Now, on the right side, we're going to extract the first folder and drag that over towards the main directory where the exe will be for Starfield specifically. The next zip file is going to contain the DLL on the right side. What we're going to do is go towards the left, locate the exact same DLL, and rename it as this right here, as hook. From there, you can then place the new DLL into this folder. This way, we have essentially renamed the OG as hook and then threw in the new DLL into this folder. It's that easy. Last but not least, we want to extract the third archive and drag the ASI file into the main directory where Starfield is located at. Next, we want to go towards app data, local, then Starfield. Next, within this folder, we want to create a text file. Rename the text file as plugins.txt. By default, it should be txt. We then want to open up the text file and we want to type down the ESM file. So for example, what you see right here, it's going to be the Starfield test ESM. If you wish to add more mods, all you need to do is click enter, and then this will create obviously a new line underneath, and you can type down the rest of the mods that you plan on adding. Do this for each line and you're good to go. The mod's installed. Have a great time with it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And other than that, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.